Hey guys, so the majority of the video that you're about to watch actually happened before we went full-time, just last week. Since then, I've actually gotten Starlink internet. Unfortunately, where we're staying right now, I can't get it to connect, but I promise you a video is coming very soon where we go a little bit more in-depth into Starlink. You'll see in this video where I install a junction box on top of the roof. The plan is I'm actually going to be running my Starlink wiring out of that junction box to the back of the RV, but I'm actually going to do a whole video on the Starlink setup, where I'm mounting it, that kind of thing. I'm still waiting on some parts to come in from Starlink for my mount. So right now, if we are going to be using it, it's going to be temporary. But I will be having a video come out hopefully in the next few weeks. Just really depends when all my stuff comes in from Starlink. So just stay tuned. I promise you guys it's coming. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys our Pepwave setup. So we've got both a dual modem router as well as an access point that we've installed. With our dual modem router, we've got a 7-in-1 antenna that is mounted up on top of our roof. We've got all of this powered off of 12 volt. So that way, no matter what sort of situation we're in, as long as we have battery power, we're gonna have internet. So I'm pretty excited about that. Guys, we are getting close to launch day. As you can see, we're pretty empty and packing up some of the things that we're gonna have stored. But today, we got a real exciting video for you. We're gonna be installing some stuff I picked up from Mobile Must Have. Let's get to it. So you guys can see what I've done so far. I've mounted a junction box on top of the roof, drilled a hole through into my bathroom, and then this is actually the 7-in-1 antenna that is getting installed on the roof. So the reason I decided to mount the junction box to the roof and then mount the antenna on top of the junction box is twofold. So number one, it puts the antenna higher than anything around it. And what that's going to do is not impede any of the signal. And then number two is future proofing. I have an extra junction box up here in case I need to run any wiring for anything else that may come in the future. So right here is where I've run the wires in through the ceiling. So there's actually an LED light that covers this up. And then I'm going to run wire track through here down to this hole, run the wire out this hole, back in through this one to get to our little electronics cabinet over here. I know it looks like I've done a lot of unnecessary hole cutting, but trust me, how things are in this RV, I ran into a lot of issues trying to route these wires. So this is kind of what I came up with. It's going to end up mostly being covered up anyway. All right, so I've now got the cables run through that wall, and they're right here. I'm going to pull them through there and possibly through there, depending on where I mount the Pepwave. Although I'm probably going to end up mounting it in this cabinet, and then that way I don't run into any space issues with that distribution block there. So I ordered the Ultimate Road Warrior bundle from Mobile Must Have. It came with the antenna that we've got installed on our roof. Came with this dual modem router, which is the Pepwave Max Transit Pro E. It's their new one that supports power over Ethernet, which is kind of cool. Got the 12 volt wiring kit, as well as a fuse block to install this on 12 volt power. I also ended up buying their T-Mobile plan, which is 800 gigs. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our SIM in the SIM slot, and how to take this little dust cover off is just two Phillips head screws. And you want to make sure you're using the full-size SIM and not punching out any smaller. And I'm going to make sure that I'm putting the little metal chip down as I insert this into the first SIM slot. Here, a little click, and you're installed. All right, so we got 12-volt wire run up to new fuse block, and the wire fused. That is going to be running to the Peplink. All right, we just plugged in power, and it looks like we've got a couple red lights, so we have power. We've got the antennas plugged in, routed up through that hole, through there, which goes into the bathroom. And we'll see if we get some green lights here soon. Looks like we've got a green light. So I'm gonna go with we're working. So quick tip, make sure you snap a picture of the sticker on the back before you mount these up. Then that way you have all of that information accessible if you need it. All right, before we get too excited, let's hop on the computer and make sure everything's set up right. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to connect to the Pepwave via Wi-Fi. So we'll go ahead and find it. Mine is right here. It's going to ask for your password. And this is actually one of the reasons I told you to snap a picture of the back of your unit, and then that way you'll know your password. So your password is the last 8 digits of the LAN MAC address. So for mine, all right, so now I am connected, or I should be. All right, and just so you guys know, it is case sensitive. So that was the mistake I made in the first place. I did not make sure that I capitalized the letters in that password. All right, so now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and type in the IP address of the Pepwave. You don't really have to know what that means, but just know that you type in 192.168.50.1 and hit enter. Your initial username and password are admin, and then lowercase admin. Now you have to change your password, and I'm not going to use the crazy strong password. And password has been changed, and I'm going to go ahead and save it in my keychain. All right, so now this is the dashboard for your Pepwave. So what you can do is you can set your priorities between what you want to be your highest priority, your lower priority, that kind of thing. So WAN is a direct cable connection, and of course I don't have one of those right now. Wi-Fi as WAN, however, is a pretty cool little thing. So what that's going to allow you to do is pick up networks nearby and kind of make them your own network. So let's say you're at a campground and you have Wi-Fi at the campground. You can take that Wi-Fi, pull it into your router, and connect to your network like you normally would, and you don't actually have to physically connect each of your devices to the campground Wi-Fi. So that's a pretty cool little thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and connect my home network. Even though this network is not going to exist in the near future, I'm going to go ahead and connect it. So as you can see, I am now connected to our home internet, which is named Today We Go. And just in case you guys were wondering, I have tested this with Starlink using Wi-Fi as WAN, pulling right from the Starlink router, and it works fantastically. Pretty cool, right? I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research, but I'm assuming I just can't get signal. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new local area network. So I'm going to do that through the Access Point tab. I'm going to click New SSID, and I'm going to make a new Wi-Fi name. So we're going to go with TWG Wi-Fi. So today we go Wi-Fi. Broadcast SSID, definitely want to have that checked. That's so it is discoverable. So when you click your little internet settings up here, it pops up. And then you want to set security. Use WPA, WPA2, and you can type in a password. And then after that, you scroll down and click Save. Now there's going to be a new, it's going to basically look like a new router that popped up, but all it is a new SSID connected to the same router. And then after this, you click Apply Changes, and it's going to do its thing. All right, and I just checked on my phone. I am able to connect to that new SSID that we just created, and it seems to be working just fine. All right, so it looks like we are all connected just fine. We're going to go ahead and button everything up, and hopefully Reagan is happy with the way it looks, and it doesn't look like there are cords going everywhere. We'll see. Everything always looks worse before it's buttoned up and covered up. So that's the finished install. Not too bad. It's certainly not perfect, but it does cover up the wiring and the holes. Just got the Pepwave access point in, so we're going to go ahead and get this installed. So the access point we got is the APAX1 Lite, and I'm going to mount it right up here. So it kind of makes sense with where those wires are poking through. So the AP1AX Lite comes with two different mounting options. I'm going to be using this one to screw into the wall, but it kind of just slides into the top like that and locks in. And then if you want to remove it, you lift up on that tab and you can pull it out of the mount. Comes with a couple inputs here. This one here is your Ethernet input. This would come directly from the Pepwave, and then that's your power. So cool thing about this is you can power it over Ethernet. So if you have the Pepwave that does have PoE or power over Ethernet enabled, you can power the device through that. I, however, am not going to be using PoE because that would require me to install a 12 volt to, I believe it's 56 volt converter. In order to do that, I'm just going to run 12 volts directly here through, I believe it's a 2.1 millimeter 12 volt port. All right, so we got the Pepwave all installed. Now I gotta wait until my 12 volt to 2.1 millimeter cord comes in. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it from the back of the AP1AX Lite into that distribution block that I installed. Then I should have power to that access point. So I ordered off Amazon this little plug that is a 12 volt bare wire to a 2.1 millimeter plug that should plug right into the back of the access point right there. Then I'm going to run Ethernet from here to the Pepwave. So I'm going to run our plug up through the hole that we made for the antennas earlier. And then I'm going to take this end of that wire and run it into our distribution block that we put in. Now that we're all wired up, we're gonna go ahead and put our 3-amp fuse in. And and then we're gonna test our work. All right, we plugged our wire into the back, and we've got a red status light. I'll be honest, I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming it just means there's no internet connection. So we're gonna go ahead and plug an Ethernet in to the top of our Pepwave unit that you can't see, and then into the back of this, and we'll see. Oh, hey, there we go. We got some blue lights, so that's a good sign. All right, we've got our Ethernet and power wire installed. I'm currently got a pretty long Ethernet cable installed here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to make another video and show you all how to make short Ethernet cables so we can use those cables for either internet, but also the Victron equipment. I've got some bunched up cables up there that don't need to be. We really appreciate you guys watching us week after week, watching what we're doing. If you like the content that we're putting out, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, throwing a comment down there. That lets YouTube know, hey, let's promote this video. People are liking it. So that really helps us out. And in turn, hopefully we can help you all out more, bring you some more exciting content and how-tos, that kind of thing, but also sharing our life with you and what it's like living on the road. The reality is we've only done it for a week so far, but you guys get to see it in real time. So we're excited about that too. Thank you again. We'll see you guys next time.